that is actually the number one reason why people go downhill. I really enjoy getting old. I've just got a little tiny trampoline. Everyone thinks I'm bonkers. She was already hospitalized because she was dehydrated. I brought her back, and it was 4 years of the French were amazing with her.
Welcome back to Living Well in France. Today I'm sharing part 2 of my conversation with Jacqui. If you haven't already listened to part 1, then I'll link it below in the description. In today's podcast, Jacqui opens up about how she brought her mother, who was suffering from Alzheimer's, to come and live with her in France. And she also shares tips and insights on aging well here. Without any further ado, over to Jacqui.
My mother, who lived in Spain, she had Alzheimer's, and so I brought her here, and there was this kind of hiatus. It's a horrible disease because you lose the person before you actually lose them.
Yeah, my father-in-law had it. When you say you brought her to France, did she live with you, or was she able to? Yeah. Okay.
No.
You had a nurse come and.
I had a phone call from, I think it was one of her friends. She's always had a place in Mallorca. And I had a phone call from one of her friends saying, look, she's been found naked in the road. And I just got on a plane. I spoke fluent Spanish. I speak quite good Spanish. But and she was already hospitalized because she was dehydrated. I brought her back. And, it was 4 years of the French were amazing with her. It was we're Irish anyway, but it was before Brexit. And they were just wonderful. We're so lucky with our health system. But it made me realize she eventually, because we couldn't look after her, she would disappear. She went into I live in the Charente-Maritime near Jonzac, a little spa town. And she went into a little place, a temporary place, for 4 weeks, and she stayed 7 months. They realised, she couldn't come out. But they, one of the things that shocked me was that I would go in every single day, 7 days a week. But I was always the only visitor. And that was one of the things that kind of saddened me a little bit, that it is because of the inheritance laws and things in France, I think. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm not here to judge other people, but I used to go and talk to people. Often my mother didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to know me. And the lady who ran it, Dr. Cruel, she would say to me, oh, Madame Williams, could you go and talk to Madame blah, blah, blah. Written everywhere was, you must vous voir, you must respect. A lot of them didn't know the day of the week. They didn't know anybody. But the respect was there. It really was an eye-opener for me.
So what did she say, sorry, about why she thought people weren't visiting their family?
She didn't judge
inheritance laws?
Well, in France, there is an inheritance law that you cannot disinherit your children. So I explained to people, I can leave all my money in England to the RSPCA. I can give it to my next door neighbour. They are genuinely shocked, Jane, genuinely shocked by that. The same as we were when we came here, that we had no control over our money, our house, our belongings. But it is what it is. That's the law. And as my clients move here, I explain it all and I help them find a way, sometimes around it, it just depends. There are lots of ways around it. And I just thought maybe it was that, I don't know. I just don't know. It was really quite sad, but they were all very happy.
One of the many fun aspects of having a YouTube channel is that sometimes companies send me things to test out for my audience. And this week I've been sent a fantastic anti-aging mask by Foreo. Here it is in all of its modern and futuristic glory. You just turn it on with a button on the front here. And you can select the light setting of your choice. I like the red one because it's supposed to be good for getting rid of wrinkles. And then you just put it on like this, adjust the strap at the back, make sure it's comfortable. And all you have to do is relax for about 15 minutes a day. This is called the FAQ 202 by Foreo. It's an FDA-cleared new generation of LED face mask. It features 8 different wavelengths, including near-infrared to tackle signs of aging and other skin concerns. It's very lightweight, it's wireless, so it's very comfortable. You can wear it around the house. The infrared light emitted is said to boost the skin's natural healing processes, to reduce wrinkles and fine lines, even out the skin tone, reduce sunspots, minimise pores and reduce redness. It comes with an app with really relaxing music and different programs for different skin problems. So I like to just relax and listen to the music. It's got pretty good reviews all round, but I haven't had time to test it fully myself yet. So watch this space. If you see me looking 10 to 20 years younger in the following months, you'll know it works. It comes with a great box you can easily store it in, and I was also given this red light peptide serum to test. On Yuka it scores 93 out of 100, so it's all good stuff. I apply a thin layer just before putting on the mask. Foreo is having some amazing Black Friday deals, so click on my link in the description and use my code to get an extra 35% off almost all Foreo products, even the ones that are already on sale. That means you can get up to 50% off on some Foreo products. Today, I was thinking while you were talking about, that you could bring your mother to France. After Brexit, is that still something that's possible for English people that move to France and then have elderly parents that need care? Is that still something that can happen?
Do you know, I've never thought about that. It's so rare. It's so rare. And I wouldn't have had to think about it even now because she's Irish. She was Irish. I don't know. I'm going to look into that, Jane, because I think it's something that people need to. A lot of my clients go back to the UK because of that, because either they're elderly or they've got elderly parents they need to look after. So I don't know. I'm not sure many people would bring them to France. They might think it's a huge... it's a huge responsibility in a foreign language. So many people I know here, English people, English speakers, I should say, don't speak enough French to navigate that, I think.
Yeah.
And the
That's
secret
a shame,
is don't be frightened. It is a shame. It is. But, each person has a different story and a different future.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think about that sometimes because I'm an only child and I've got elderly parents in the UK. Touch wood, they're both very healthy at the moment, but they're getting on. So, I've talked to them about it. We've sort of broached the subject delicately. My mum thinks she will be the one, left behind. And she says...
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah. She said I wouldn't want to move to France. She doesn't speak French well enough, and she said she wouldn't want to. She'd want to find a nice care home if necessary, by the sea where she lives already in the UK. So I would respect that, but then I think it would be very difficult because I wouldn't be able to visit regularly, and you need to check up on them and make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, one of my colleagues, my dear colleagues who I've known 20 something years, her mother died last week, and but she hopped over. But luckily, she had other family and her children over there. And so her mother was well looked after. My mum was probably, sounds awful to say, but a little bit too far gone in that when she was fine, there were plenty of English people for her to speak to. By the time, and we looked after her for 4 years, living with us. But one funny story, one night, my husband and I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning with her. We could hear her going, sure, cheerio, it was lovely to see you. Didn't we have a grand evening? I'll see you again soon. And she thought she'd had a party and she was saying goodbye to all her friends. And I said to my husband, we've just got rid of teenagers who did this for real, and now we've inherited my mum. You'd think she's having a party. No, it was something I'm so happy I did. It was horrible. because she had something called dementia with Lewy bodies. So she imagined things, she saw things. And it wasn't nice for her. One thing I did learn about dementia and people with that is that there are different reactions to it. I mean, not that I know why medically, but some people were eternally happy, constantly happy. Other people were almost like zombies, and then other people cried. And that was heartbreaking. My mother was angry. When it took over, she was angry. But, you know, it's a horrible disease. And there's sadly no real treatment. So I'm just praying that in the future they find something. Would be wonderful.
I haven't got it in our family, but you know, you never know, do you? So I'm touching wood and hoping that my parents will be okay. But
I hope so. Do you know, I mean, I just celebrated my 70th birthday, and I am watching and reading, and there are lots of things we can do. Not just that, and it's not anti-aging. I really enjoy getting old. I just think it's wonderful. I have a kind of not devil-may-care attitude, but I've worked out my priorities, what's important. And there are lots of things we can do to help ourselves. I don't know if you've watched the lovely Michael Mosley, but he has a program on at the moment on aging. Sadly for him, he didn't, get to do all those things, Dr. Michael Mosley. But it's really interesting about there are blue zones in the world where people live to over 100, and they are very zoned. And why they do that. And there are lots of things that link them together. I've just got, thankfully you can't see, but it's just behind my computer, a little tiny trampoline. Everyone thinks I'm bonkers, but it's called a rebounder. And it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Well, exercise is supposed to be very preventative for Alzheimer's, isn't it, and dementia?
Dancing, social exercise, dancing, ping pong. Rebounding is great physically because if you are prone to osteoporosis, it
strengthens,
I believe, increases your bone mass.
I've heard that, yeah.
Also, it makes you laugh. I mean, I just laugh. I had to remember to wear a bra. And I just laugh, and I also go to something called Iron Body Fit, which is a kind of an electrical thing where they plug you in once a week and you do these kind of really, really tense positions. Wow, I mean, the energy that I have, and the fact that my core, I can stand upright, and it is wonderful too. But, it's you still got to enjoy life.
Absolutely, yeah. All in a healthy balance. Well, the French are very good at that, I think, making sure that everything's in the right balance. They tend to do sport for pleasure. They're just as sporty as anyone else, but they do it really for pleasure. Yeah, they love it,
but it's social. I've got quite a few clients, older than I am, who are retired, and they go walking, but never on their own. They're part of a club. And that is actually the number one reason why people go downhill. The lack of relationships, social contact. Exactly.
I hope you enjoyed listening to Jacqui. If you would like to listen to other podcasts from people who have taken the plunge and moved to France, then you can check those out in this playlist. If you would like to appear on this podcast and share your experiences of moving here and any advice and tips that you have, then feel free to get in touch via livingwellinfrance@gmail.com. Until next time, à bientôt!